get in school programs, take classes, church productions, anything you can do to develop your skills.
Because it's such a small subset. It's such a small little industry, little community. So you tend to meet people who can take you places. I met Laura through community theater, and that's how I got into this. And so he's right. As long as you're acting, you're going to be meeting people who are acting other places.
And then it was the same with me. I met a guy named John Grimion who encouraged me to audition for ADV Films in Houston. And that was how I got started in anime. So, you know, most people have a very similar story. They met someone who was already doing it, and they got them the opportunity. But the thing is that when they got the opportunity, they had already developed the skills, so they were able to do well with the opportunity. You know what I mean? You don't want to wait until the opportunity presents itself to try to develop your skills. Build your skills up first, and then you'll be ready.
And you don't want to be looking just at dub work. I think that's a mistake that a lot of fans make. They want to do dub work, that's all they want to do. And that's just not very realistic because there's so little of it going on, and it's so difficult to get in now because it's just harder. We don't accept as many people for auditions anymore, so.
And make sure,
and it wouldn't pay for anything.
I think the parents in the room would probably appreciate this. Make sure that you train yourselves to be able to take care of yourselves. Because most voice actors I know, I think it's fair to say, most voice actors do not make a great full-time living voice actor.
Absolutely.
Which means you can do it for love, but at some point you kind of have to pay the bills too. So.
And it's nice to have a degree so you can teach theater while you do what you do.
Exactly. So don't ever give up on your dream. If you have a gift, if you have a natural talent for something, certainly pursue it. But be responsible as well. I've heard of people that dropped everything and moved to Dallas to become a voice actor.
That makes me cry.
Oh my gosh, how scary. You know?
I only know one of them who's working with us.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Micah Solzad.
Luigi! Questione! What? Use your outdoor voice. Can I sing Dragon Soul?
Yeah.
Yes!
I don't remember the words.
I have a cell phone with a ringtone.
Mysteries abound, made of a deep energy. Souls all around, but I will go fearless and free. I'll give you strength, you give me love, that's how we live. Courage one day, if you're with you, my enemies will never win. Ba-da-da, right? Yeah.
Love and glory,
We will live to tell the story. There is nothing we can't live through, nothing ever dies. We will rise again. Now, don't stop, there's so much to be found. We can't find paradise. All we have to do is go free your soul. Dragon soul. You know what? I remember that.
I don't know how you remember that.
That's
I remember
scary.
the one I did yesterday.
Last week, I was at a convention and somebody asked me to do it. I'm like, oh crap. I didn't know the words. And they came up and sang it with me.
Aww.
And I'm like listening, don't stop. Taking my cues from them. Who's got a question for Miss Clinkenbeard? Yes.
It's actually a question for both of you. Out of all the characters you voice, who has to be the most favorite and also the one that you feel is the most relatable to you? For both of you.
Here we go.
Okay, here's the thing. I cheat on that question.
Ooh.
I answer it differently every time. So,
I'm okay with that.
Okay, alright. Today, my favorite voice that I've ever done was Miranda in Deep Gray Man. She's crazy out of her mind, and it's way fun to do. It hurt, and I didn't have the breath for it, but it was awesome, and she's fun. And relatable to me, I'm gonna say Mitsuki in Rumbling Hearts, but I'm not that much of a witch. But she was very realistic. Like, it was just kind of soap operatic. Like, it just seemed like a natural character. She was a natural girl, and she's going through a relationship, blah, blah, blah. So it's relatable to me because, you know, she wasn't a boy pirate with rubber.
You know what? For the longest time, my answer to that used to be, I could never pick one because I love so many different characters that I got to play. But then we started Brotherhood. And I could no longer resist the tractor beam that is Edward Elric. I just say, you know what? I love that little pipsqueak. You know what? I'm serious. And you know what? I bet Colleen would agree. There aren't many characters, there aren't many roles like that anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, there aren't many Full Metal Alchemists in all of anime. And to have had the privilege to play a character like that. And you know what else, guys? Think about this. Most anime series are what, like 26 episodes, right? Maybe if you're lucky, 52. Some of them are big long ones, but not many of them. So, when you consider the fact that I played Ed for 52 episodes the first time, then a movie, video games, OVAs, now another 64 episodes of Brotherhood, the movie... I'm not giving anything up because I know that's public knowledge, but... So, I've been playing that character probably longer than any other role I've played. And it's an amazingly endearing role, too. So, I would have to say Ed, and then right very close to Ed is Tamaki. He's right underneath Ed.
It's fun that Full Metal Alchemist went through that evolution. You got to go through the whole closure, oh my gosh, this is the end, we're never going to do this again, and then there's another one? And then you get to do it all over again. So that's nice when it comes back like that.
Yeah, nobody expected that, you guys. When we finished Full Metal, it was done.
Yeah.
I mean, it was done. I did a convention with Seiji Mizushima, the director, and he looked us right in the face. He said, I'm not doing any more Full Metal.
Yeah!
It's done. We're like, okay, it's over.
Think about Awesome
And
Wire.
we did a really good job. Everybody in the show did a great job, and it turned out great, and it's done. You know what I mean? It's like you hit a home run in the big game, and you did it. And nobody can take that away. But then, years later, suddenly we find out they're doing another one. Like, that was really scary at first.
I would have been so sad if they had come out with the second season of the first one, because it ended right. I mean, it didn't completely end, but nothing ever should. It ended right for that series, and I love that what they did was go back and trace the manga through. Because it's a separate thing, but it's the same thing. You
Yes.
got to live through more of the adventures, but it wasn't adding on to the original.
Exactly. And Mike McFarland, who co-directed with Colleen the first series, when we finished the series, I remember my last session, and he and I sat there for a while, and we talked about how much we appreciated that the show ended strong, as opposed to kind of petering out and becoming dumb, and a bunch of dorky, weirdo, quirky, episodes like some shows. They just want to keep it going, So they start making stuff up, and it's just not as compelling. So we were glad that it ended the way it did, strong.
I mean, it needed the movie. The Conqueror of Shambhala was necessary. It needed that to end it. But then that was a good little...
But you guys, Brotherhood kicks butt. I just recently finished recording the last few episodes, and it's so good, you guys. I can't wait till you see it. So.
Seen it.
Who's got a question? You want to pick somebody, Colleen?
Sure. How about right here?
I'm about to go sit in the aisle now.
I love it. I love Gohan. She says, how do I feel doing Gohan now? Thank you very much. I get kind of half and half. Half the people are like, I remember the old one, and that's what I grew up with. Arg! And then half the people are like, it sounds younger. Yay! I think she did a good job, and I definitely don't want to take anything away from her, but I love that I got to... Good. That's good. I wanted to make sure that he aged. He did the progression. So we started off really young and wimpy, and he was very annoying, and then he gets rougher. Yeah. All right, back there in the black t-shirt.
Yes, sir.
How did you feel in Dragon Ball Z series first going to be a badass Super Saiyan?